Hi everyone, Erica Rendell, Remax Crest Realty. This is a September, sort of mid to August to end of September market update. It is the middle of October right now, but when we give the market updates, it's because the information that we receive early each new month, it's for the sales data that was recorded, of course, for the previous month. So this is the September market update. Okay, so where are we today? It's the middle of October almost, and happy Thanksgiving. But home sales and listings totally surged last month in September. We saw an incredible uptick in sales and new listings, actually. Sales overall were up 56% last month comparative to 2019. 56%. We saw a 20% increase in sales when we look at sales in August compared to September. So that's still a big jump from July. So as I said, 20% more sales compared to this time last month. And then when we look over the last sort of history, when we look over the last 10 to 50 years actually in real estate, home sales were actually up more than 44%, which means we saw last month the busiest time of ever in history for sales in Vancouver. So that's crazy. That is a huge number of sales. You might have, heard through the grapevine or heard through, your realtor friends and colleagues and people that you're talking to from day to day, how busy it actually is out there. And it really is. We are seeing multiple offers in most of the neighborhoods in Vancouver East Side and Vancouver West Side. Most of the neighborhoods in the Vancouver West Side, Fairview, Mount Pleasant, Kitsilano, up of course near Oak Ridge, even in downtown. All these neighborhoods are showing, very high sales ratio numbers between, we have between 30 and 45%, or I should say 25 to 45% sales ratio on the West Side. In the East Side, the most active or the highest or the busiest, I should say, market area, neighborhood, is the Grandview Woodland catchment. That's the Commercial Drive area that most of you might know the area more familiar with. They had a 47% sales ratio for last month. When the sales ratio numbers are hovering above sort of 20-25% for a sustained period, so for more than 2 to 3 months, that's when we can safely call it a seller's market. So these are very strong numbers for the third consecutive month in a row for Vancouver West and East Side. Both neighborhoods, Vancouver West Side and Vancouver East Side, are selling at 100% list to sales price. We're seeing homes are selling on average 100% list to sales price, which means if you list your one bedroom and den condo for $650,000, you can expect close to $650,000, if not slightly more or less, but that actually is what that means. Okay, days on market. The average right now in the East Side is about 14 to 15, 16 days. So that's about 2 weeks. The average in the West Side is 11 or 12 days. I mean, these are less than 3-week numbers. So that is a very quick turnaround. If you are priced well, if you showcase well, if, as I've said before, if you have a good realtor on your side and you are thinking of going to the marketplace, the numbers are showing, still to be a very, very strong marketplace. And it's still, fall, we've got good weather. It's still a very, great time to consider selling if it works, of course, with your circumstances. Excuse me. Now, a lot of us are, wondering what is really sort of driving all of this market demand? What is driving the prices? How has everything gotten to this, level again? Well, since the whole COVID-19 pandemic has taken place, I think the main reason, and I think all of us are experiencing this, ourselves, and we're looking at I think everyone is kind of reevaluating their living, scenarios, and they're sort of, looking really closely at their needs. And since a lot of young families and individuals and large families are working from home now, they are considering if they should be relocating to the suburbs, to Coquitlam, to Surrey, to South Surrey. A lot of my clients actually are considering moving from the city and moving, 30 to 45 minutes away from the city because they can get more bedrooms, they can get more living space, and they're not needing to perhaps live in such a brand new urban, neighborhood. So a lot of young families and individuals, their criteria, their needs are changing, or they're kind of reevaluating, where they sort of stand right now, and they've considered sort of selling and at a good time, because they've also realized that they can negotiate a good price on a property further out. So much of the demand has been because of the changing housing needs. I think I may have rambled on that, but I hope you got my drift. Of course, the interest rates are, what we hear about all the time and every day, extremely low. Interest rates are lower than they've been in many, many years. Like I've got a client that had an approved rate just last week under 2%. That's, we've never seen those rates before either. So with the low interest rate and the changing demands, we are certainly seeing, a robust number of sales, and it certainly had a heightened sort of awareness, or it certainly had it's made us all sort of very, very busy. When we look at the new listings, on the other hand, I just spoke about sales. When we look at the new listings for last month have also significantly increased. We saw 31% more new listings last month than we did last year. So that means that there's more inventory to look at. There's more condos to go and take a look at. There's more townhouses to go out and look at. If you're, looking for a specific type of property, you actually have more selection now. With the increased number of listings, it is perhaps slowing things down a little bit. I have spoken to a couple of colleagues and associates just this week and today, actually, and we've all sort of, discussed. We are seeing perhaps a slight difference in the activity this week compared to last week, but I it's a little too early to see that if it's going to, make a big change in the next sort of 3 to 4 weeks ahead. But the reason for perhaps a touch of the slowdown is certainly because we are seeing a lot more new listings. So the good news is that will help balance out the pace of the marketplace, because we're certainly, as I'm talking about, seeing a crazy sort of, high level of sales and activity. The average price right now for a detached property in Vancouver, or in sort of Greater Vancouver, I should say, is 1.507, $1,507,000. The detached market prices are actually up 7.8% over this time last year. In the apartment condo world, the average price right now for a condo is $683,000, and you're looking at about a 4 to 4.5% higher price today comparative to this time last year in 2019. And when we look at the attached home sale, or the benchmark price, I should say, the average price for a townhouse is about $809,000, and that's actually about a 5.2% increase over this time last year. So we still have higher prices than we did a year ago. We've got crazy sort of new list. We've got an awful lot of, we've got a lot of sales actually that have been reported. But again, it's always, really important to chat with your own sort of real estate agent. And if you need to chat with someone, feel free to reach out to me and I can talk to you about your neighborhood. But of course, this is not in every single area, and it's not, reflective of every single property out there. You really do have to be priced competitively. And anyhow, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're watching things closely.